Hey everyone, it's Kofi Boakye, and welcome back to another episode of the Kofi B podcast. As I continue to embark on this amazing journey here in Boston at Berklee College of Music, I look forward to meeting some amazing people. So I wanted to keep this podcast as open as possible. There's no theme, no special agendas. No, this podcast isn't just about music, but more so learning and getting to know people outside of their professional arenas and interests. I want to know what makes them great just as much as I want to know what makes them laugh and relax. So sit back, grab a drink, snack, and genuinely enjoy this episode. Because this episode, I have a very special guest with me. You might have seen him on American Idol, or you might have witnessed him on social media, or you might already be a fan of him. But his name is Evan Cole, and he's a student here at Berklee College of Music, and I can't wait to learn more about him and see what the future has to offer for such a talented guy like himself. So without further ado, welcome to the second episode of the Kofi B podcast, and let's get straight into this interview. And welcome to yet another episode of the Kofi B podcast. My name is Kofi Boakye. I'm your host with the most. Be sure to add me on all social media platforms at Kofibmusic. My website is kofibmusic.com. That's where you can get all the updates for everything that's going on with me personally. However, this is not about me right now because I have a special guest with me here, Mr. Evan Cole, man, one of my classmates here at Berklee College of Music. How you doing, man?
Oh, great, man. Never better.
How you been, adjusting here at Berklee?
It's just so amazing. I've adjusted great. It's just I'm meeting so many cool people, and just being surrounded by so many people, musicians, is just very humbling. Man, to be around it.
Yeah, where are you from again?
St. Louis, Missouri.
Ooh-wee. So, coming from there, and I know me being from Akron, Ohio myself, you don't have the opportunity to be around necessarily as many peers that are at this tier of talent, Has that been an adjustment for you coming from St. Louis?
Well, actually, in the way that I'm seeing it, because I'm around different, more musicians, but in St. Louis, I was always surrounded by lots of talented singers and dancers, and that's how I actually got my start in musical theater.
Okay, so you dance too?
A little bit.
I feel it. I grew up, I took dance class and everything too, but it didn't necessarily pan out. Well, I dance, but not like that. But music is definitely more the thing for me right now. How did you get your start and everything, man? Because I see your story. Most people see your story, whether they follow you through social media or just seeing what you do online. It's incredible what you're doing at such a young age, man. I commend you for it, and it's truly inspiring for somebody like myself that's on the similar path, trying to make a thing of their own. So how did you start off with this? What was the starting point for you?
I think I've always been singing at a very young age, but my start was in musical theater, but then I started to get bored with that, and then I started to take interest in contemporary music, pop, R&B, that type of stuff. So I decided to quit musical theater, and then when I was 12 years old for Christmas, my parents got me a starter keyboard, and my sister gave me a tip hat.
Was the piano, what did that piano look like?
It was just a 88 key, just a starter Yamaha.
Oh, you got an 88 key to start off? I'm jealous.
Yeah,
man.
But it was just like a P95 or P105. It's like a very starter piano,
Dude, my first piano was one of those pianos that light up every time you play, but it was 37 keys, and it was
Dang.
tragic.
Oh, it was half weighted probably.
Yeah, it wasn't even weighted, bro. It was literally it was paper thin notes that lit up like a Christmas tree light. It was quite tragic. But yeah, bro. So coming from there, you built this amazing platform so far. How did you do that? Was it through? I know you bus scouts there in St. Louis a lot.
Oh yeah,
did that help?
That definitely helped. I have been getting myself out there all the time, and when I was 12 years old, that's when I started busking, and I've just been grinding, man, since I was 12 years old. I've just been hitting the streets, busking before and after the Cardinal games, and it's so crazy to see all these excited Cardinal fans and performing in front of them, because a lot of them are so appreciative, and it's amazing to be around a community that supports what I'm doing.
So when you're saying you're in St. Louis, of course, the St. Louis Cardinals, for those that don't know, like the MLB team and everything. So
Yeah.
This is like a weekly thing for you every time, or
Yeah, I try to do it as much as possible on the weekends, and as much, like literally as much as possible whenever the Cardinals are in town.
Wow.
And it's so fun. Yeah, that's why I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, that's crazy because it reminds me of in Akron. For me, there's this mall called Summit Mall, and at the time they had a grand piano in there. It was just weird. I mean, being in Ohio, knowing that there's just a piano in the mall, it's unheard of. And so, there was just randomly there, and every week I would go there and I would play, and that's how people kind of knew about what I was doing in Ohio and everything, and that's kind of what catapulted everything that's going on for me personally. So it's
That's
kind of
so
cool.
sweet.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's crazy. That's crazy. So like from there, this whole opportunity with American Idol happens. Like, what age were you with this whole thing?
Oh, I was just turned 15 years old.
Ooh-wee. So what was that experience for you?
Oh, it was absolutely awesome. Met so many cool people, learned so much from the experience, and most importantly, I had so much fun.
Well, so like, what was that whole audition process looking like for you? I mean, was it a whole, it was an actual TV thing, right?
Yeah, reality TV, man.
Man, I was like
nothing. It's nothing can compare to it.
So you go to LA, I'm guessing, right?
No, actually, I auditioned in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh, that's right. They have auditions from all over the
Audition
state.
cities, yeah.
Ooh, who was your judges?
J-Lo, Keith Urban, and Harry Connick Jr.
What? Dude, that's crazy.
It's pretty surreal.
I mean, so singing in front of them, what were the emotions that even went forth, knowing that this was about to happen for you?
Bro, I was so nervous. I don't remember too much from the audition, but like, you know what? I just gotta realize that these are just normal people, and they're just like me, and they're just living day by day, and they do the same types of things, and there's normal people, and I was just kind of a little bit too nervous. I should have just calmed down, but it was just being only 15, it was a little bit much, but it was just so awesome. I mean, the only thing I really remember from the audition is that Keith Urban liked my vibe. J-Lo, I mean, she's gorgeous. And Harry Connick Jr., he's gave me some constructive criticism.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, it was really
needed.
fun.
That's needed. I mean,
yeah, man.
To be 15 and to have that type of advice, what did that do for you going forward?
It totally motivated me to get better day by day.
Yeah. So you make it to Hollywood.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like, knowing? Because I mean, growing up, everybody watches American Idol, especially like me. Like I grew up. I kind of stopped after. I stopped really early, like after maybe like. I've watched for real like during the Bo Bice times and like.
Bo Bice, yeah, I love him.
I loved watching during that time. Clay Aiken and Ruben Studdard, all those guys. So like after you get that ticket. Did you like harken back to those moments where it was like, dang, this is a moment that everybody gets so excited about and everything?
There's part of that. I have part of that energy where I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. But at the same time, I was thinking about in my head like, oh my gosh, why am I so nervous? And it's just, you gotta be like totally comfortable with that type of vibe. It's like reality TV. Like there's hundreds of cameras around here. And it's just, it was a different vibe for me. But yeah, I was so excited. But all I was thinking about in my head was like, oh, I just gotta better myself and like take what the judges told me and apply it to what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So you take this whole moment, and now you're 15 at that time, but you're still going to high school, man. So, and you're doing all this stuff in high school, right? Touring and doing all these different performances. What was your high school life like for you?
It was definitely different than most high schoolers.
Okay.
Well, the first 2 years of high school, I was involved with the arts. I was in this a cappella group, all-guy a cappella group.
Nice.
I went to an all-guy school, and that was really cool. We did a bunch of like pop songs and songs from Pitch Perfect, which is pretty cool. And we performed all around. But in the second 2 years, it was different. That's when it started to get like, different than most people. I started like taking off a month of school to tour with Drake Bell from Drake and Josh.
Yeah.
And Silentó, the dude that did Watch Me Whip.
Yeah. So you went on tour with them, you opened up for them and everything? And
yeah, I opened up for them with 10 other artists, and it was so incredible.
Wow. So that whole tour life, what was that like for you? I mean, even being in high school, like how was that managing a quote-unquote normal life as a teenager that wants to just whatever do whatever you want to do? Like how was that for you, balancing wise?
It was pretty tough. I'm gonna be honest with you. Being on tour, you gotta be focused on every single day and giving everybody a good show. But at the same time, when you're done with that show, you got to be focused on the homework, and that was the tough part, balancing school with the touring life,
Yeah, man, that's crazy. I mean, I hear so many similarities between your story and my story, just in the sense of trying to balance everything.
Man.
Coming from Ohio, where you are, viewed as, to a certain extent, like a celebrity by so many people and an inspiration to so many people. But then it's kind of like, man, I'm a normal person too. I have normal interests. I want to hang out with friends. I want to do this stuff. But because of my profession, because of what I do, it kind of, you have to compromise to a certain extent. But
exactly.
But being, I guess here, as a high school student, or now you're here at Berklee, how is that a difference for you, kind of being here and as opposed to doing the things that you're still doing musically, but being around an environment that supports that? Is that different for you?
Yeah, it's definitely different for me, because when I was in musical theater, everybody was so supportive of each other and everything. But then when I started doing my own thing, it was a little bit different, because people are just kind of more it's just harder for them to understand what it's like to be just performing and always gigging, like, why are you always doing this music, man? Like,
right.
And but I've had some great a great support team of close friends and family.
Yeah.
But coming here, there's so many people like you and me that have similar stories, where we're just working, and
Always.
grinding from at a very young age and getting better day by day. And it's just really cool to be surrounded by so many people that I can relate to.
For sure, man.
And, can hopefully collab with in the future.
Sure, man. That's definitely got to happen. So we heard about your music. I'm going to get back to that in a second, but I got to know about you, the person. So when you're not doing music, when you're not singing, when you're not touring with Drake Bell and on, doing everything, what's your life like? What do you like to do, man?
Oh, my gosh. Music is life, but let me sit on that for a sec. I love watching movies.
Okay. What type of movie?
Specifically horror movies.
Oh, no. What? Why horror movies?
Oh, I just love the feeling it gives me when I get scared, and I love watching with family and friends, because it's just kind of a cool vibe. Like, it gives you that, like, feeling where you're scared, but at the same time you're not, like, it's not you that's getting attacked or something. But I think my two favorite horror movies that I can think of right now are, like, Lights Out and Get Out.
I don't look at Get Out as a horror movie. Like, you talking about the new Get Out with Jordan Peele and everything?
Yeah.
I kind of view that as like a thriller, but I mean, it has horror to it, of course. Okay,
Yeah.
I accept that one. I know, like, all my friends right now, when we go, they have movie nights and stuff, like, every weekend and stuff.
Oh,
they want to
cool.
watch horror movies all the time, man. And I'm like, I'm not a horror movie guy.
Oh, I love action movies too.
Action, like Marvel and like the Avengers. Okay.
Oh yeah, I saw Endgame recently.
You saw Endgame?
With my best friend.
Did
yeah,
you watch all types of the Avenger movies? Like, did you watch all forms? Like, the first, the one that was before that one and everything?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest. My friend, he knows so much more about me. He's a Marvel fanatic. But me, I'm just along for the ride. I've seen the movies, but I don't know exactly what's going on with all the characters.
Oh, dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. Not this last movie, but the one before that, I fell asleep.
Bro.
when Thanos and all that, like, all he took, I don't know, the world, half the world, and they started evaporating. I slept through that. I missed that whole thing. So,
what?
So when I saw the movie, the actual Endgame movie, and then they like brought that stuff back. I don't know. I don't follow Marvel like that, but I like Spider-Man, so I was very lost. But
Yeah, I love Spider-Man too. I think I like that better than Avengers,
Spider-Man's
to be honest.
he's my favorite character, mostly because that's the only movies I've actually watched in full. But but yeah, man, I love Spider-Man. But other than that, man, I mean, so you have music coming out, am I correct? Or
Yeah, I have 3 songs already released right now on Spotify and Apple Music, all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
And my plan is to release a song a month.
Oh, wow. A song a month. How do you approach that?
I have a bunch of songs in the bag that are pretty much like I got the demos done. I produced them myself.
I got you.
Got the lyrics and the melody, and now it's just time for me to hop in the studio and
Get to work.
hit
man.
the booth.
Get to work. I feel it, man. So I'm gonna end it because we're cutting close on the time. I want to get you out of here and everything, but I want to end with this question. Simply put, I mean it's a very, very open-ended question. It's one of those questions that's kind of like, man, it's hard to answer right now. But looking forward for yourself, knowing that you're at this position, being at Berklee College of Music, knowing that you've done so many great things, more than most people will ever do in their lifetime within your teenage and adolescent years. What does the future look like for Evan Cole?
The future, I definitely see myself in the future touring around with, just around the world, like try to be a tour in many places. And, now I want to like perform with other talented musicians and just want to collab with people at Berklee as well.
For sure, man.
And hopefully when this album comes out, I'll be able to perform around and promote that album and see where this whole thing takes me.
That's exciting, man. That's all you really need to know at this point. Thank you so much, Evan, dude. I appreciate
thanks,
you
Kofi.
for being on. Yeah, man, thank you. And I know that the sky is not even the limit for what you're going to do. And hopefully we can work together, man, in the coming months,
totally.
days. I don't even know, man. But, yeah, we got to get that done immediately.
Yeah, you're awesome, Kofi.
But thanks, bro. I appreciate it, man. Thank you again for tuning into the Kofi B podcast, but I do need your help real quick right here. Listen, if you like what you heard and you want other people to hear it, I need you to share this podcast, okay, on every social media site that you can think of, every page that you have, every post that you make. Just make your next one about the Kofi B podcast. We're doing a lot of great things here, as you can see, and I want to continue this trend going forward. And also, side note, college ain't cheap. So if you like what I'm doing here in these interviews and talking to these amazing people here at Berklee College of Music and abroad, donate. Go to my website, kofibmusic.com/donate, and at a click of the button, you can be the savior to keep me here for the next 3 years. Be that person. I love you forever. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Kofi B podcast, and I hope that the rest of your day is just as great as you are. Peace, guys.